Schwartz 3 or 4 lengths in front of Apache Song Semyon. Stapati from a mile back from Southport Tycoon, but it's all Schwartz with 50 metres to go. 2 lengths in front of Schwartz, 2 strong, Stapati second.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm a bit scratchy here, a bit ring rusty, but old faithful. Johnny Walter, Big Red, you here with me? How are you, brother?
There's one thing that'll never go rusty on you, mate, and that's your ring. I'm all right. What about you talking about breaks? What I've been doing in breaks? You're the only one who had a break.
I did the Brizzy show.
The show punts on. You're the only one who's been chartering fishing boats and thinking you're Rex Hunt and posting photos like Big Bad Davo. Yeah, you're on fire. Glad you had a break, though. You needed to freshen up.
I did. The Brisbane show was a beauty over the summer. And, a couple of weeks freshen up. When that last part of January is what the doctor ordered for me all the time, or year on year. I reckon it's a filthy time to bet. But Melbourne boys got a new digs down there. But DK, how are you, brother?
New digs, good Scooty. Yes, no, I'm pretty fresh. I didn't get a break either. I went right through, unlike my... my wife and my son, they went to South Africa for 3 weeks on safari and Victoria Falls on that business. I don't know what you boys were doing when you were 12 years old, but I was at a tent at Safety Beach. You know, my young bloke's bloody bungee jumping on the Zimbabwe border off the Victoria Falls Bridge. So, but they had a great time, and I might join them next time. But they went camping. I swerved at the camping. No camping here. I'm a swimming pool hotel man. Nico, you went on the cruise, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a good break actually. I'm sort of like first up for this show pretty much. Went on the cruise, went to Vanuatu and New Caledonia, which was good. And then last weekend I went to the Sapphire Coast. Actually, we had a few runners there, so I made the road trip with Dad. So that was a busy weekend as well. So I haven't been to the track in Victoria for a while, but I'm keen to get back into it. And looks a ripper day on Saturday.
It looks it's outstanding too. And just to go back, what a big summer we've had. We've had Caulfield on fire. We've had the Gold Coast poisoned. TopSport, major sponsor, has got the forced sale sign up. So that's big news. And then Jason Scott's also tendered his resignation. So a couple of big body blows for punters. But it's an interesting one. I guess we'll tackle the TopSport one first. I think for the last couple of years, I think market forces have sort of destroyed their business model. I think Tristan and the Mullihan family have done well to sort of recalibrate and kick on, and hasn't been easy. Hasn't been easy for punters who use them as an avenue to get on. But hopefully when it all washes out over the next couple of months and it all sort of plays out, the new brand's as aggressive, and with Tristan staying on, as it's been reported in the press, and to my knowledge, hopefully he stays on as Chief Trading Officer. So fingers crossed, the 110%ers on Friday continue, and there's some avenues late to sort of get on for a decent bet. Because when Matt Tripp started, I guess, the breakaway brands in the old sort of Bet Easy days and Bet R, and they seem to have had a few iterations there. They were really aggressive with the Bet R 100 to 1 promo, which sort of probably put them back a little way. But be nice if an Australian-owned bookmaker, especially with those old school boys at the helm and Tristan, would still take a decent-sized bet. Walt?
Yeah, they've got to forced to do something. They still can't compete with, I don't think, Sportsbet with like promotions, incentives and whatever. They've got to come up with different ideas, different angles. Tristan's probably their point of solidarity for the bookmaking side, whilst leaves the others the opportunity to try and grow the business otherwise. And we probably hope that they're sympathetic to redheaded people. But that time will tell. But no, hopefully it's at least they're having a dig at growing, because they probably have to keep taking opportunities to grow however they can to compete, because they say in time, a few little changes we probably foresee, not too many of them being left, and any point of difference, any bit of extra competition is going to be good for the industry, good for us.
DK, boys down there, any thoughts?
The positive was that, they could have just been bought out and Tristan sailed off in the sunset, but the big positive there was that he will be there as Chief Trading Officer, and that will add different things to their, I think the way they handle smaller margin clients and things like that, it probably would have considered otherwise. So, I think you're right, Scott. I think hopefully there's a bit of upside there.
And then Jason Scott, the resignation took a few people by surprise. It's definitely, I was blindsided by it. He didn't mention it to me at the Betfair function in early Jan, which I assumed he wouldn't. But
he felt play on though, didn't he? He felt like he was sort of neck deep in a lot of things and he was going to have to push forward, yeah. So.
But it is a bit sad, I guess, from a punter's perspective. Real common sense approach and logic and revenue driven. The times that we've sort of caught up with him, he understood what racing lifeblood was and the challenges it sort of faced as well. So hopefully he's not completely lost to racing, and then I guess hopefully his replacement has got a similar ilk or can carry on some of the changes and some of the same mindset that he sort of brought into his role at RQ, because he wasn't there for a long time, but what he did was I think good for punters and good for wagering, and he understands how important revenue is and just common sense decisions. And it sounded like the head noise from all the different clubs and all the different angles was just too much pressure and might have wore him down a little bit. There's other sort of rumours about the Gold Coast track and all those sort of things, but they're not on my radar yet.
I don't think so. It's a big loss for logic. I think you're right. Like he was the one guy who showed a bit of, he knew how the game operated. He definitely knows how wagering operates better than anyone I've ever seen in the space, and he was our white knight. He was our Trojan horse, wasn't he? He was our chance to sort of drive everything to the top and see what what happened. And no matter what's forced him out, whether it's a silly Gold Coast situation, which I highly doubt it was, it's more chance, I think, that he just... I think Golan came out and he said 3 codes is too much. I do agree with that, and only because there is such significant change required in all codes that they do need probably a head of each, plus even maybe one like Jason to oversee it and try and really push forward the main issues. It was a shame that he couldn't get more done that he wanted, and I think it would have only been positive for everyone. But hopefully whatever he did do while he was there is someone can pick up the bat and ball and run it to the top of the hill, because I think he had a lot of good things on the go. And the Gold Coast was. That's a huge change to this area. That's only going to be a huge positive in time, regardless of the silly track situation.
We might have to send him a note and see if he can bump up the NBL before he goes, and maybe even just do the old 2 brand. You have to bet people twice, as there's done at RV. So that's my little Easter wish list. But
couple of Biden pardons before he walks out the doors. Yeah,
it'd be handy. What about you, DK? Anything on Jason Scott or the Caulfield fire, or anything over the summer break?
Well, just reading why Jason finished up just in that article on the Straight. That the slope. He likes getting things done. So there's a slow place reform. Everything's got to go through government, get ticked off. His mate said he didn't have the right attitude. When you're in government, my missus works in government, and the stakeholders and the people it's just different. And credit to Morrison, and Volantis does it a different way, just stamping his feet. But Morrison obviously is very good at, he's been in that game a long time, and Jason said full credit to him. I can't believe these blokes have been in it 10 and 20 years. So it's just worries you. They just can't get the right people in those roles because of the nature of them, because of the self-interest at all the clubs. That's what Andrew Jones said. He just threw his hands in there. I know we didn't have a lot of fans, but he said the 3 clubs in Melbourne's just dealing with them and can't bring them together. So it just concerns me to get the right people in the role in the future because of what the role is, Scoot.
Yeah, the collaboration at Clubland seems to be a real sticking point, and probably we do pour a fair bit of hot water and go double barrel at our New South Wales, but. Yeah, it's a funny one because it's
so
a big
close
power
shot.
struggle.
It's so close shot there. You get no transparency whatsoever. At least with Jason, you knew, and that was a real positive.
There's got to be a way. Like, I'm not saying the ATC's got the best model, but definitely the clubs butting heads and getting them to all be on the same page. But it's tough because everyone wants the premium Saturday, the Friday nights, and the best meetings. So again, and that sort of just reflects across the whole calendar and all the states as well.
And the rumours are that not even at racing level, racing clubs, if they butt heads, they weren't going to Jason. They were going above him to political level.
Yeah,
and then he's getting his legs cut from there too, apparently. So it's not even go. It's tough, isn't it? Imagine dogs trots. You can't get more happy.
Exactly.
You're trying to do something for the majority, but the minority can make a big impact if they go to the right person. So it's just such a loveless job.
Political minefield, but $1.04 he'll be back in wagering. He's too valuable to lose, so it'll be interesting to see what operation sort of picks him up.
Head of the world tote, that'd be funny.
But while you're there, speaking of right people in the job, and you were just throwing to the Caulfield fire, and hasn't Kanga been a revelation? Talking about getting the right person in the job, just just completely opposite to what we've seen in the past from sort of racing administrators. On a positive note,
100%, and it's the transparency too. So
him and Kanga together, wouldn't they have been fun?
People have got labour pains. It's just good to show them the fruits of the labour and what goes on behind the scenes, because I think everyone's a little bit more forgiving and understandable when it's not just all behind closed doors.
This is why.
Yeah,
okay, this is going to hurt a few people, but for the better, this is why.
Exactly. If there's justified reasons for things, sweet. But then that's what we don't get out of racing New South Wales. It's all just closed shop. The last point that I'm going to make is Donnie. We're going to retire him to the Brizzy only show, so he'll be back in mid-April for the Queensland Winter Carnival. That show was a really good success, and despite
Mug's not coming back.
Well, no, I hadn't considered that yet, DK, but I will reach out if you're ultra keen.
No, the pass.
I might try and get Benny Scarf.
Jesus Christ, Azza. We'll have to get a lunatic.
Azza's still out there.
Azza's still out there.
Yeah, we'll see. Might even. Oh yeah, there's a lot of different options. So if there's a cameo guest, there's a lot of people asking for GK from the Brisbane show. But we'll have a bit of a think and see if we can find someone to do that. I'm sure there will be someone pop up. But Donnie's going to have a bit of a spell. But I think the Queensland show will be back after chats with some of the RQ people in early Jan. So that's good for everyone that enjoyed that content. 110% markets are back, and they have been for a couple of weeks now, but they're back 3 till 4 on Fridays at TopSport. So we've got the CF4 this week, you've got the Rubiton Stakes, you've got the Autumn Stakes, and then the Inglis Millennium. So capacity field there at Randwick for the Inglis Millennium, and Tristan's betting 110%. That's exciting.
Like that? I was talking, first emergency we'll talk about, but apparently the Freedman horse wasn't going to run, this Boussillon. But it's the only horse eligible for the 400 grand females thing. So if it runs last, it gets 400. So it'll be going around.
Wow.
I think if it right, I don't know how the bonus works, but it's the only one in the race that's eligible anyway. So yeah, it snuck in and pushed Timmy's horse out of the race at the moment. We'll see what happens.
Good luck to him. And what a great incentive is the female ownership. Racing's one of the only 50-50 sports where men and women can compete each other, and it just blows my mind that it's not pushed harder.
If you've got a 2-year-old, and unless you don't trust your missus to the highest order, surely every share's going in her name if there's bonuses galore everywhere.
DK? Well, yeah, you'd put the missus straight in, wouldn't you? No dramas?
Yeah, she got zero interest in horse racing, but I'll put her straight in. Yeah.
Right. She'd get the 400, but she'd be straight on the safari again for another 3 weeks. She'd be off.
Wouldn't see DK. I wonder if he gets invited or she just goes. DK?
What do you reckon? Last to find out, mate.
I just want to see DK in a safari suit, in the paddle pop line safari suit.
Oh, I'll pay him enough money to do that one day. Nico, you've got Caulfield CF All Day, so you can have a look at the big one and another best bet there. It looks like a tricky card, so good luck to you there. Friday, Hobart Derby, and then the Mystic Journey Stakes, and you think you've got the winner of the Cup, which is good. You've got the Inglis Millennium Walt, Eskimo Prince, DK's hunting Colac on a Friday, so snowy. The owner of Truffle Finder yesterday will be absolutely excited there. He had to fill up. The Clinton McDonald team's roaring on. Bjorn's going a bit better than him, but a couple of stables just wide out at the moment. But Colac's happy hunting ground for you, DK.
Lukey Pepper, white hot.
Luke Pepper, Dabberding. There's a couple others, but I'm going to have a look at the lucky last at Briz Vegas, and then we've got some TopSport Steamers. So we've got heaps of race previews to get back into it and blow the cobwebs out of all of us. The first one Friday, let's go DK. Colac race 1. It's the Mortimer Petroleum Maiden Plate over 1,600. Got no market here, no prices, so it's guessing game. But Billy the Brute you like, and you liked his debut performance at Seymour.
Well, he's on debut for the new camp here. He had 2 runs for Liam Howley. Comes to this young bloke, P. Kearney. He's a good trainer, this bloke. Gelded it. It was off him in the green here. This was a hard race to make ground, and I like his work over the last 100 here. Graham Begg's thing, handy horse, Spillane, wins. Sugarfire on the inside was favourite, had a good form. Coronation Day got beaten a Pimple at Sale the other day, and it made good ground on him late. So the change of stable and the gelding, as slow as I say, I'm big on changes of stables. It's a bit like, the Noonans when they buy these tried horses. What's that horse you put? Flying Mickey and these things, it's just plain canvas. Like the horses just improve, and this horse has improved under Pat Kearney, and he's going well. He had a first start at Cripps win the other day for the Carlton supporters there, Nico Cripps, and he's got that filly in the Inglis Millennium. So he's a good trainer, and he's doing good things. So this is second up what I like, up in trip. Just got to get the first half of the race right. There's a vulnerable favourite here, Fratinzi. It's had 7 runs for the prep. It regressed last start. Now it's 8th run for the prep. Look, it'll be around up front around Colac. It'll go up early in the market, but I think deep into its prep, it's a good horse to take on with this what looks like an improving nice horse of Pat Kearney's. And I'll also I can't because Daigari, I'm not sure what number it is, but Daigari's in the race, and it finished just 2 lengths astern of Billy the Brute in that Seymour race. But that's the form I like, and it gets D Bates and a low draw, and it's third up 1,600 as well. It can improve, so I'll probably have a good bet on Billy the Brute, have something on Daigari, and be around for a Tansy. But Colac. I like Colac on a Friday. I wish they raced more often there. Generally it's a nice track which races to its true pattern most of the time. So I'd like to see more meetings there, actually. I think it's Cup Day, though. But P. Kearney and Mitch Aitken for us on Friday, Scoot.
1 p.m. on Friday. So Colac race 1, number 2, Billy the Brute is the bet up jobby. And then the saver perhaps is race 1, number 3, Dagari. What price expecting Billy the Brute?
What did he run the other day? I'd say he'd be $5 or $4 or $5 or something. Might be $8 or $9, $10 Dagari. I reckon for Tansy will go up $3 or something like that, $2.50.
Lovely.
DK's always said that Mark Reed was his mentor to a certain degree, but now that I've seen that video from Tony the Genius sitting at Pack Fair talking about if the maidens are no good, you abort the meeting. Now I know.
Oh, my God.
Now I know the truth. DK, the only man in Australia that abandons the meeting if the maidens are no good.
Do you reckon he's found his man up here?
I think that was in.
Hey?
I think he was in.
He's in with
He
this,
could be a Reed man too, that fella.
the Gold Coast King.
Yeah.
Was he on holidays or he lives up there with you boys?
He lives here, but we haven't found him.
It was a
We're
bit
not
too
looking
close
too
to
hard.
home. I promise you, I felt it was a bit too close to home.
It's one of the best I've heard, though, isn't it? Abort the
that was-
meeting.
that
If the favourite was a 16
If
start
it's had-
favourite
yeah.
or something, and if it's favourite, then you just abort the meeting.
Yeah, if it's a
Did he mean to
$1.70
say bid
favourite, the
the
whole
race?
meeting goes
I'll
into
bid the
bid.
race. The whole meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's surprising
quality.
that there was a few blokes jumped to his defence.
Yeah.
What a world.
Mate, good luck to him.
What
Good
a
luck.
world. Oh, I
He's
didn't
sending
know
out
that
sheets for all those joints at 3 a.m, isn't he, and all that sort of too. Lingfield and South Africa, he sends the sheets out. Like, oh, yeah. What a
Mate,
shame.
anyone that can win 260 units at South Africa is too good for us.
Mate, I can't even work out. There's like 400 to go, and the camera angles there make our camera angles look like geniuses.
Well, we've answered our question from the first segment. We need King's best. We need him to come on the show as a cameo each week and give us his best.
I couldn't. I'll die.
Donnie out,
I'll have
King in.
broken ribs from laughing.
Oh, shit. Nico, Tassie, let's get into it. Hobart, great time of the year at the moment. I was there a couple of weeks ago and take the missus there, and the hospitality of the people there are fantastic. Tassie Derby Friday, so you've got DK to kick us off at Colac, and then you've got the Tasmanian Derby Race 5. It's 2,200 metres, and TopSport have got prices up here, and like a Calix's favourite here at $2. You got Kicking King, $3.90. Track Patcher, $4.80. Maul and Miss is
Don't give
$5.
up.
Garcon Desport is $15, and then Don't Give Up at $17. Wow, I can't believe Kicking King's in this race just after we've given King a kick. But like a Calix, Launceston Guineas, Nico was sensational. Here he is in the green and gold. Wow, puts a hole in it.
This was enormous. I watched this morning.
Yeah, this is a horse. Punters might remember him. I reckon we tipped him on the last show as a moral in one of those maidens, and he broke his maiden.
Like over 1,200 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1,100 or...
And then he got beat his next run where they went
right.
24 lengths below to the 600, and he just got beat. And then his last two, when Perez has gone on, have just been sensational wins. And he crabbed around the corner. It was way too good for him there. I think his opposition, they're pretty limited. The other Tassie staying 3-year-olds, and he does have to tackle 2 Victorian 3-year-olds here. But just the way he wins these races, like that was a fast tempo. The further, the better, it looks like for this horse. Every single start he's had, he's pretty much been the fastest late in his races. I think he's one of the more progressive horses in Tasmania. I would be shocked at all if he could sort of race his way over to the big leagues over in these states, Victoria, New South Wales, and was competitive in, say, a Derby there, because it just looks like 2,400 metres he's going to eat up. Perez seems to have really found the key to this horse. He's been able to get him out of the barriers a bit better than the other riders that were riding him early days, and he's really got a lot out of him late as well. So in a race where there is a few sort of Victorian horses that have come over, it's a very small field, but I think the danger is probably Track Patcher, who you probably have a little bit of insight on as well. DK broke his maiden at Swan Hill, beat Girls. She's since come out and run second in a benchmark 70, 2,400 metre race at Geelong. Then he's been a bit stiff. His runs after that, probably should have gone close to winning at Store when he got too far back, and he probably should have won last start in a 64. So I think his form's probably strong enough. I'd say he's clear second pick, track patron. I was surprised he wasn't a little bit shorter, but of what Like a Caelix is doing, if he replicates that again, he'll be extremely hard to beat. They haven't necessarily missed him at $2. Like you've been able to take $2.25, $2 last, or two runs prior to that, and then last start $2.20. So they're sort of caught up to him now, but I think he should have been a genuine sort of $1.50 chance in a few of his recent runs. So I think he's a really progressive stayer, and really like the way he's just been going about it.
Yeah, the only horse that I sort of kicked up for is Kicking King here when I had a look at the replays and had a quick squeeze of this race. And there it is out the back in the blue and yellow. But just before the turn that you missed there, it was sort of in a bit of a bumping duel, and he just had to make a second go and just lost all momentum. And he's a horse that went really well the start before at Moonee Valley. So forgive one run, which I'm going to do here. They were so negative, and the horse can be slow away, but he doesn't have to be back to last. I thought he was the possible improver. So you can just see him coming back into screen now and finishing off okay. But they went pretty quick early there. And if there's a danger to Like a Caelix, I think it is it. But yeah, I think it's a pretty a simple race. And Nico's probably found the right horse, and the right winner there. Race 7 at Hobart is the next one. It's the Mystic Journey Stakes over 1,200 metres. And this is a cracker. We've got GG's Mistruth, $2.50. They bet a big price early. I think they went up $3.80, and that was gobbled up really quickly. Miss Tasmania is $4.60. Malwallach $8.50. Dazzling Lucy $11. Scuderia $11. Inner Stride $13. Alva Hero is $15. GG Enough Speed $21, and then Subliminal $21. You got Girl $21 and Bind $21, and Better Than the Rest. GG's Mistruth. You, if you haven't followed Tasmanian racing, you probably remember this run where she's just in the green with the purple sleeves. And no luck here, Nico.
Yeah, she probably should have gone close to winning on this night. Bellatrix Stars backed up this form. You got another Prophet sort of in the wider lanes there. Matisse, Benetils, Saitong. Like there's a lot of sort of handy form lines around her. And I think she's been sort of set for this race as a 1,100 or 1,200 metre race at Caulfield on Saturday for the 3-year-old fillies with To Be or Not To Be and a few others sort of in that, and they've left her at home. She gets 53.5 kilos. The trial over 1,000 metres, she'd have an apprentice on, but here it is. Was very impressive work. The two horses in behind her up much chop, but she absolutely puts them to the sword. And if you just rate her to near her best, which I think you probably can off this trial and a bit of intent, local race down in the weights, probably gets an uninterrupted run from the draw. I think the market's probably right in identifying her as the real key winning chance, and they did bet a much better price earlier. I think she was about $3.50 yesterday, into $2.50, which is probably around the right price. She does have to overcome a bit of a sticky map, but there looks a fair bit of speed in this race, and Darmanin should just be able to keep her out of trouble from 10. I think the 3-year-olds hold the key to the race. The other filly is Miss Tasmania, who is unbeaten except for when she faced GG's Mistruth on debut, and GG's got the better of her, but she's got a big turn of foot, this filly, Miss Tasmania. There's a few other horses that have sort of come over from Victoria. Dazzling Lucy won at Flemington last start, in her strides there, and even Malwallach, who was a big closer last start, but did miss the start by about 4 lengths, so she's a little bit hard to trust. But I think drawing the outside barrier may be a positive for her there because she won't have to stand in the gates for as long. But I think if all things are equal here, which they should be from the wide draw, Darmanin should just keep her out of trouble. I think GG's Mistruth is the best bet of the day and should be getting the job done with a bit of intent there first up to win the local race.
DK, you don't mind a mare's race and fillies?
No, I thought pretty simple as well. I just keep it simple, keep it with GG's Mistruth. Bellatrix form's sensational, like as it turned out. Oh, how good Bellatrix Star going in the spring. Quality, 3-year-old, on the minimum against some older mares who've spun around a fair bit. So, hard to beat GG's Mistruth, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think it's
at home too.
Yeah, on the home deck, and I think we learned that last week that the horse in the last name dropper just stuck to 1,400, and sometimes the trainers try to stretch them out for these classic series, and she's just not a 1,600 metre horse. So 1,200's her go, and should kick off nicely in style. On Sunday is the Hobart Cup. It's race 8. It's a 2,400 metre event, and there's no markets, but one that you like here, Nico, is Promises Kept. Strawberry Rock's in the race as well, but here it is in the Aussie Kihir colours, and just puts a gap on them pretty nicely. And Strawberry Rock just bats in behind it in the blue and yellow. Yeah,
it looks the key lead up this form. I think this is the best bet of the weekend. Promises Kept. I'd be very surprised if he gets beat. I think Shane Foley actually got a lot out of this horse. Real aggressive European rider, and I thought he really responded to his riding style there in the closing stages. If you look through this horse's ratings and a few databases, it was career peak, that win, that rating. So that was over 2,200, gets to 2,400. We know what he was able to do as a 3-year-old, but he ran second in the South Australian Derby to Dunkeld. It's a bit in the wilderness since then, but I thought he paraded outstanding that day at Moonee Valley and couldn't believe he got beat, and then followed him up there. Perfectly placed last start, set for the race. I think everything just looks in his favour. There's a bit of speed with Aruga Mama. Should probably look to sort of press forward. Goldman's another one that's going to press forward. I think he'll just lob in a similar sort of spot to last start and be very hard to beat. I think the danger is Strawberry Rock, who didn't have probably as good a run as him last start and probably should have finished closer. But I think just the way Promises Kept is trending, I think he just may keep improving. So, I'm happy to sort of label him the best of the weekend. You got to wait till Sunday, but I think he'll just be winning. Promises Kept should be getting the job done in the Hobart Cup.
Outstanding stuff. Lucky last multi-leg there, and D Bates goes on for T Stockdale and Strawberry Rock, so might try and change up the tactics there. Tasracing.com.au is the hub for replays. Nice small pull of horses down in Tassie. Nico's made it his happy hunting ground, and you can also get his stuff on the racing.com website if you want to pick up his full sets there as well. So form.tasracing.com.au, or you can just go to tasracing.com.au and have a look at all their packages and all that sort of thing if you want to actually go to the races. But big thanks to Tas Racing for jumping on board the show, and it's good to see their carnival going well. Walt, Bjorn has them on the hop at the moment. What about Autumn? Can he maintain the rage throughout the Autumn Carnival, or he's going to peter off?
He's always most dangerous leading into the Magic Millions, but he's definitely sustained it a bit longer this time. And he's got a few horses that are certainly sort of at their top, whilst maybe some of the classier horses of the spring are coming back, so maybe he'll steal a few more. But I don't know. I can't think of too many horses that he'd have that are. Well, he's Steffi Magnetica and a few, but not too many. I think he'll come through and sort of
Real
clean up. I think
liners.
he's done an exceptional job to win. What he's just so underrated how well he places horses. I think. I think he's an underrated human all around, Bjorn. I think no one seems to take him super seriously as a horse trainer. I think he's a bit of a larrikin, but I think he's a bit better at what he does in all ways, shape and form than anyone gives him credit for.
Yeah, he's absolutely on fire. Randwick Race 7, there's the Inglis Millennium over 1,100 metres. This is the first one I'm going to have a look at, and price tags come up favourite here, $3.40. Rivellino is $4.60. Within the Law, $5.50. Bellazine, 13 into $7. Cobra Club, $8. Open Secret, $13. Kajenga is $14. YOLO, $18. The Magic Man, $21. Grafter Burners, $21. Crown the King at $21. And you got Artistic Venture, $26. And then 40s or better, the rest. Let's have a look at price tag. And it's in the Mun's colours.
Three back the inside there, isn't it?
The grey, My Gladiola wins this, and it's the Blue Diamond favourite here. But thoughts on this one?
Yeah, my only issue with this horse is that it's sort of shown it's got a burst, and whether it can maintain at 1,100 metres at Randwick's probably the key. Did have a nice sort of run, 3 back the fence here. The winner does look good. The gaps are opening up behind, lots of good things. Did well, I think, in 2 or 3 runs that had sort of down the straight. Did similar thing. It just doesn't charge through the line. That's probably the only little issue. Sheila the Thriller went down. I don't know if he went down there to ride it on purpose with this in mind, but he rode it there. He stays on it here, has a nice draw. Not too many big knocks on it. It's probably just whether it's going to, be super strong here is my only issue. I think it does look a little tight as well.
And this is the other interesting trial. Bellazine, it leads here. And then you got Rivellino in the red with the green sleeves. And then the baldy face locked away on the inside is Artistic Venture.
Yeah, so I like this trial because these are the 2 horses I probably like the most in the race. So Artistic Venture is the one there sort of locked up. Timmy's in front. 13 into 7 is interesting because I think it was sort of 11, 12, 13 bucks when we were talking this morning, and someone stepped into it. So maybe it is first emergency, but maybe
there's a scratching.
Maybe someone's got a sniff that there's something else coming out. So The other one never really got a sniff at him down the inside. Only had the one run, Artistic Venture, and I thought it went really well on debut. It's what price is it? 25 to 1? Something like that.
Yep.
Drawn 5, I think, or something. It's drawn well here. I think it's just a ridiculous price, and if Bellazine gets into the race, I'd have it favourite. So, I think they're the clear two. I'm no knock on Open Secret. The others have just got horrific draws, Rivellino, Within the Law. And I don't think they're dominant sort of types that can overcome that without, exceptional things happening. So, I'm happy to be with Bellazine if it's in the run, and I'll definitely be making Artistic Venture a winner. I just think price tag's just, it's got a very good chance. It's just 340s. My issue, I don't think it's a $3.40 sort of race. The other horse I actually gave a chance to, which we didn't talk about, is this Grafter Burners. Hippo jumps on it, blinkers on. It's just got a bit of X factor about it, and that trainer, he can get these horses to run well early in their careers, and it's just got that big engine and it doesn't look like it knows what it's doing. So if the penny drops for it 6 weeks between runs, it's had a few runs under its belt, blinkers on, it'll be 20 or 30 to 1 as well in this race. And that's, I thought Bellazane was going to be 10 or 12 to 1. 20s Artistic Venture, 20s it. That's how I was going to play the race.
Yeah, Bellazine was the first horse I asked you about off its, the Gimcrack, when it just did a power of work, and it was entitled to knock up, and being its first run, I was pretty forgiving of that. I didn't mind the trial. For me, there's a slight query 1100. So when I asked you, were you confident around the 1100 metre mark? You said yes. And then the horse I thought that might be just ridden absolute cold, classic J-Mac. I think it's B. Osman to J-Mac, that Rivellino. I thought that trial was good enough for mine, and it just has to overcome barrier 15. But you got J-Mac to just smoke the pipe. And some of these big English bonus races, they go absolutely bananas because of the big prize money.
Yeah.
They ride a few of them like bloody motorbikes, and next thing you know, they can all like get knocked down and something could be swooped from the back. And I just didn't know with that Artistic Venture, when it got clear, I just didn't know if it did enough in that trial.
That's why you're getting 25 to 1. That's why you're getting 25 to 1. I think it's a decent betting race. Obviously a bit dirty that Bellazane's been found now. But, we've still got to get in the race.
Yeah, it looks like a scratching's come out and someone's reset the prices and just gone crunch on it. I'm a bit sick that I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Nico, what do you think?
I had a really good crack at price tag last start. Thought she's really improved this campaign off her jump outs. I was against her in her first 2 runs just from the parade because she looked a bit immature, but I think she has come back a stronger / better horse this campaign. I thought sort of 300 out, she would have got the better of my Gladiola, but she still ran the fastest last 200 of that race, even though my Gladiola was pulling away from her up to 1,100 metres. And it is a restricted race, so I would say there's a chance this may be weaker than what she faced in the prelude. A lot of these horses, they're sort of having a crack here because of the big prize money, but they may not have the class. And I think if she was in the sort of prelude and then heading to the Blue Diamond, she'd be one of the key chances. So I had a real good crack at her last start, so I probably should follow up again here in what is probably a weaker race.
What size-wise? Is she not super small, or is she obviously, if you're finding her in the yard, she mustn't be an ant?
Nah, she's not an ant. She's pretty athletic. Her attitude sort of let her down early, but I think she has improved a fair bit off the spring. So I think she won't look out of place.
That's cool. That's good. That's good to know.
All right. I think some level of confidence there from the boys. Race 8 is the Eskimo Prince Stakes, and Gatsby's is the favourite here. J-Mac and Waller, $2.70 at TopSport. You got Mayfair, $4. Linebacker has had the big chop. No agates there, $4.40. Snow in May, $6. Public Attention, $7.50. Just Party, $13. Good Luck to Me, $31. Let's have a look at a couple of trials here. Mayfair in the China Horse Club colours. And you got Snow in May, so black with the red sleeves. Second
trial, Mayfair, Insurrection in front, and Snow in May's wear on the outside there in the blue cap, sort of coming down the outside. So it didn't look great here, Mayfair, but I think it was a sit sprint. I think the winners, a Group 1 sort of level sprinter now, isn't it, Insurrection, and just was suited a little bit more. And even through the line, once Timmy shakes him up, he's not as if he's dropping off. Obviously, Snow in May's closing, and that'll be pretty similar to what I think will happen on Saturday. So I was happy with both their trials there.
And here's the Great Colt, Public Attention.
Yeah, this horse is interesting. And 2 trials in blinkers on first up, obviously. It was a horse, it looked like it could be, it ran well in those 3-year-old races in Melbourne over the spring, but I thought it nearly could be, sort of semi-dominant there at one point early on, and then it didn't quite, get to the top of the tree. But this is not a classy trial, but like the opposition. But the way it does it, I think it just looks like it's come back stronger. The blinkers look positive, especially over 1200. It looks like it's there to really have a crack at winning this race, which is important intent with a lot of these horses at the start of the autumn carnival. It's a horse that looks like it's wound up and ready to go for 1200 metres.
And do you think Gatsby's is 1,000, 1,100 tops? Is that the reason
I think
there?
definitely 1,200 first up for it's the reason why, and because it's $2.40, I'd probably be looking away from it. It is true. Like the prices that McDonald's horses are commanding at the moment are really are crazy. Like they're definitely just 3, 4, 5 rolls short, and then sometimes they're drifting, whatever. But there is an opportunity to sort of to be around him. If you're on the fence, I think you've got to nearly go away from him at the moment. It's that strong. Linebackers come back gelded. Its trials are okay, but it doesn't look to me like it wants further than 1,200. So a run under its belt and further for linebacker. Gatsby's, I think, probably needs a run to be super strong at 1,200. So I think Mayfair will cross and give them plenty to chase. And then I think they'll be coming from everywhere late. Gatsby's maybe, but Snowy May will be strong. It's drawn low, isn't it? That's probably its biggest problem.
Yeah.
It's got to get clear and get wound up, but it looks very dangerous. And I think public attention, Mick Price's horses, Wednesdays there's been money for them, but I think you may get a silly price about it. I think it's still $7, something like that now. But for me, I think probably if I had to bet right now, I'd make for a small winner, public attention a little bit better winner, and even chop out Snow in May. That's probably how I'd play it, because it's just it's a very tricky race. It's not a race I want to go balls deep in, but I'm happy to bet around Gatsby's and linebacker.
Melbourne boys?
Well, I had a quick look at it, been sort of under the pump with the 2 metres in Tassie, but public attention did trial very well. Really liked his first trial as well behind Jolly Star. So I think he looks like he's returned. He's probably might have overachieved a little bit in the Guineas Prelude and the Caulfield Guineas, just due to where he sat in those races and how they'll run. But that win on debut was really good. Live to Fight he showed late there. He does look like a horse that I think will continue to potentially improve just the more racing he does.
That's how he shapes to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon he could be back in for a good prep.
Looks there with some intent.
M Price first up, that's the go. Stable.
We all agree. It's the first time this year. Exciting.
Randwick Race 9 is the next one. It's the Fujitsu Air Stage 1,600 metres. So Mark Taylor will be there in the box. You got Headley Grange, $2.50, Birdman, $6.50, Arbor Law, $10, St Lawrence, $12, Super Helpful, $13, Wymark, $13. You got Highlights, $15, Built, same price, Manzois, Palmetto, Kinesiology at Narosso. A few of these pretty beaten ups, and much, much bigger the rest.
Has this gone off as well? I think this was a little bit longer too.
No replays here.
No replays. Coco Beware, the Birdman. Any of the old WWF fans from the late 80s and 90s, he was a lunatic. Coco Beware. This all started $6.50 in the Geelong Cup 80 days ago. When it was 108 days ago. Pardon me?
Big go.
Huge go. They paid a lot of money for it, and I think it ran the second fastest 8 to the 2 of the day, and then pulled up lame. So it looked a bit average there late in that race, but I think something went wrong, blew a gasket. And then its trials this time in, I think Via Sistina was in both the trials, and it just steams it just looks like Via Sistina in both of them. So this also I don't think's ever had a start short of 2,400. That's the query. It's got a low rate. I think it's an 82 rater, which is obviously very sneaky, and I think it must have been well under the minimum in the Geelong Cup and still started 650. So what I'm trying to say is it sneaks in this race at 53. It could gap them on class. It just could. You could just see it chime in and win by 6, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm a huge Headley Grange fan, but it's going massively up in grade. It does meet a lot of stayers resuming, and 52.5, a perfect draw, very fit. So I'm not saying it definitely can't win. It's going to be in the right spot. It's going to run well, but it's definitely $2.40 tight, whereas old Coco Beware could come off the top rope here and pull their pants down if it's as good as it could be. And the other horse I thought was a big price was St Lawrence, who's been poking around in those mile $7 million race benchmark 88s that we have bi-weekly in Sydney during the summer when no one's racing, and doing really well. He was completely in the wrong spot at Wyong last start, and he could just be the fit horse that's a little bit forgotten. I think he's 12 or 13 bucks. So I'd rather be with him at the price and Coca Beware Birdman and strap in with the leather undies and hope for the best, because it is a bit of a shot in the dark. But to me, it just looks like it could be way better than them. And this is the race that it sneaks in as an 82 rater. They'll probably give it 20 points after this. It'll be a 100 rater after Saturday.
I think you've got to get on the bat phone, DK. You got to ring your man Aussie, because I had a little bit of a Captain Cook at the Flux early on Birdman, and I think they opened up a big price, and it just went
what price they go up?
Well, I think it's this horse, but I think I saw something
wouldn't
like
surprise me.
$15.
This is the horse you cannot put up a big price about, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
And I thought there must be a bit of a problem with my computer here, because it went $15 into $5.50.
Yeah, well, that's $15 is complete madness.
Aussie might have just been bloody stuck at his office, just mashing the button, just mash.
It could be $5.50 to $15. I'd be happy with those flux, and you just know that it's not ready. But $15 putting up this horse is a big mistake.
So DK, you just got to find out if Aussie's on.
I'll see him Sunday. It's going to be too late.
Too late.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thanks. Can you just make sure you text me Sunday and let me know what he thinks about it Saturday? That'd be awesome.
I'll give you the post race. Yeah. I wonder how many horses he's actually got. I'm going to ask him that on Sunday. How many has he actually got?
He's not slowing down. He's not slowing down.
Too good to him. Good luck to him. Just tell him to send a couple of Noonan's way. Nico, this is
trying to get him to Rockhampton.
Far too far for me. I haven't got this far in these races, and I'm a bit sort of greyed up with this sort of scenario, given that there is these mile races every 5 minutes up in Sydney.
I saw Birdman at Geelong on his first Australian run, and I absolutely penned it from the yard. It's one of the worst moving horses I've ever seen.
But that's good, right? Because it pulled up lame too.
Yeah,
so
it was like Ted said, it looked lame in the mounting yard. So, yeah, it could probably only improve. That's all I'd say.
Well, it could have been like in the container ship on the way over here, on the awkward spot on the couch, and then they've trotted it out at Geelong. It still runs some crazy section. Then the couch fatigue's kicked in. Then it rolls up here. It's been in the premium Lazy Boy at Waller's for the last 108 days. And down the outside, she rips.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a fascinating contest.
It's a horse you could dead set see starting 5-2 favourite, winning by 6, or you don't know. It's just one of those weird ones that, the international horses we get every now and then, but this horse does look like, I don't like what Nico just said, obviously, from a confidence perspective, but like they paid a lot of money for it. It's obviously got a big engine in there, even if it has got some issues, and if they've ironed them out, it's just stood out like dog's balls. So there's an interesting horse on the card.
And it's the Walt Waller radar. So my little red alert goes off. If he's finding a Waller runner, you need to take note. So I'd be having something small at the $8, because if Aussie in that step into it, if he's missed the price and he still wants to bet,
if Aussie confirms it on Sunday, we're all in.
Stamp it. And he's got some big guys in his ownership, bloody consortium. Some of those blokes betting.
Yeah, so it's more the bloke. It's more the bloke who's second in the Jim Beam Johnny. He's the big punter, Tipper. So, well, he's a good man, Johnny. But that's what everyone used to call him when he used to work for Jim Beam.
Hope he's collecting.
All right. So there you go, Birdman in the in race number 9, the penultimate at Randwick. Racingwatch.com is where you can get all of Johnny's stuff via the Discord chat with all the wonderful people in there, or you can just go Telegram, which is noise free and on your mobile, so it's a little bit more convenient if you. If you're
like noise, what are you talking about? Noise free. There's no fun in that. Get in there with all the lunatics. That's where the good stuff happens.
$30 or less per week, depending on which package you buy. So it's must have if you're betting in New South Wales. So 7 days a week. Pardon me. And he's a vampire. He's had no break. Christmas just rolls straight through. I went fishing and he stayed home. Check it out. So racingwatch.com.
I think I didn't get an invite.com.au.
Caulfield. Mighty Caulfield. Not sure how much of the grandstand's going to be open, but good to see Kanga winding back the memberships. I was straight in. Don't get down there to Melbourne much, but I was pretty happy.
You signed up?
Well, I've been a member for 5, 6, 7 years at Caulfield. Bit of a donation to the club. I don't go much, but I want to see him succeed.
Beautiful.
Hey?
Great.
How's that make you feel?
So he puts up tweets, which I don't watch them all through the way through, but they've reopened that whole section now, or that was burnt out or whatever.
Not the whole section, the medallion bar or whatever it's called downstairs has still got a heap of work to do. But
yeah.
So it's operational enough to that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
They've done a big job. So they've pulled back memberships, I think, for the rest of the year, $250 down to $99 for everyone. So
It's hard to pick apart anything he's done as a negative, isn't it? Like, who cares if everything works to everything? Who cares about keeping everyone happy? You're never going to do it. But he's
making every post a winner.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Long game. He's got a long game mindset, and that's what I love. Caulfield race 3 is the first one that Nico's been bold enough to step his feet into here, and it's the BD Hoof Hustle over 2,000 metres. Shy here is the favourite. Trent Bussett and Nat Young. He could be trolling DK here. First up, $4.80. Berkshire Breeze $5.50. Touristic $6 in from 12. Banker's Choice $6.50. Spaycaster $8.50. Grand Piero $9.50. Mehesbeen.
It's good to know that Nico hasn't changed his stripes over the break, mate. Straight into a 2,000 metres, 6-1 the field. Holy shit, Bill's race. Holy cow.
Stay in your lane. United Nations, $12. Garachico is $14. And you got Stockman bobbing up for S Wild. So he'll be on the jumping circuit soon. And then you got Porkyarm and Aurora's Symphony. So I think there was there's a big fight over who was going to get Stockman, given he loves the wet tracks. But
have they still got him?
Who?
Jamie Walters, or did they buy him?
No, it looks like they still got him.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's even better.
Good
that's
on
cool.
Good on him. So much fun jumping. Shy Ha, he's a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde, but he's in the orange and the black. Nico, tell us why you like him.
Yeah, I thought this was quite a strong race. You had in behind him, Aruga Mama was coming off 2 wins. First Models one out of it since. Baltoro was good. Akita Sushi's even back there in the field. Deacon, the horse to his inside, started even money and looks quite a progressive horse.
He was disappointing there, Deacon.
Yeah, I thought
he'd beat it there.
Yeah.
Fucking.
The way this sort of worked out for Shahir, I think he's just a 2,000 metre horse. They've sort of tried him over further here in Australia, but his best run seemed to be at that distance range. I did take note the tongue tie went on in the Pakenham Cup and he doesn't really stay, so I was happy to sort of forgive that. And then improved run last start. I would say the tongue tie probably had its most effect last start, where we see him sort of run to his best. That was a benchmark 100. This is benchmark 100 again. He cleared out and won that easily, and he still gets in here with 55.5 kilos just due to his rating. There's not much speed in this race. I think Banker's Choice, after being a horse, just got out the back and run closing sectionals his whole life. They've just sent him to the front his last 2. I think they'd probably do the same here. And then Willow from 11, there's no other speed in the race. I think you'll probably ride him similar to last start where he holds the spot early. And I think he sort of could be in the first 4 again. Should be an advantage given the wind there on Saturday at Caulfield and how the track played over the spring. It was no disadvantage when you get the speed. And there's just nothing in this race. Like, he cleared out from Banker's Choice there. He's got a significant weight advantage on him again. Berkshire Breeze is first up and drawn 12. Like, they're probably going to have to go back. Touristic's been well backed in the early markets, but he's a very poor beginner, that horse. He's always slow away. I could see why he was over the odds at $13, but now they've found him at $6. Spaycaster's coming out of a barrier trial first up where they went 25 lengths below to the 600.
Went good though.
He did go good.
Staying horse, they went that slow. I thought the way he could spun his legs late in that race, I thought means he's back in good order, you know?
Yeah.
I thought he might have been the other one here.
Make some case for him, but I just sort of thought the price was too big here, Shay. I think come race day, there's probably a 3 in front of his name, I would have thought, and he should just get everything in his favour again. I think the tongue tie may just be the gear change that sort of takes him to, you know, the level he's always sort of shown. And last start was another horse coming off a big rating last start. And you go back through his best form, he started favourite in the Easter Cup behind Deny Knowledge and Berkeley Square. Like, he's always sort of flirted with that sort of group class staying level, and I think now you just might sort of all be putting it all together. Now the stable seem to be keeping him to the 2,000 metre range. So on a really, really tough day, I'm going to make him the best of the day.
There you go. DK?
Well, yeah, I was very disappointed in Deacon the other day. I thought Deacon would beat that horse. I was very, very disappointed. I thought Spaycaster, I know, as I just said then, I know they crawled. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was farcical. And it was only because Matty Lloyd or something, was it? Took it. Who was it? Jayla Kennedy or someone? Took it up on Marble Arch or whatever it was, and they went out 30 lengths below par or whatever it was. Ridiculous. But the fact that this horse really quick and late, I thought, oh, you're back in good order for more ground and up to your right trip. So, yeah, I think it's going to be run about $10 or something, so I could have something on Spaycaster Scoot second up.
Yeah, I think you guys have nailed a few of the chances and don't love the race, but I'd be back in with Nico there on Shahir. If the real Shahir turns up, he should be winning, but he's not really reliable. He's very unreliable.
I got declared at that last start and then remembered with about 50 to go.
Oh.
So I hate the horse with a passion.
Yeah, he's a tricky one. Caulfield race 9 is the Group 1 CF4, so TopSport, 110% market. Set your clock Friday, 3 till 4. Mr. B is the favourite here, $2.45. Another will, $4. Schwartz, geez, didn't he go like a rocket last start? $5.50. Private Life, $8. Southport Tycoon, 12. Stapati, 15. Pinstripe, 16. Freedom Rallies, 31. And you got Super Smink, 31. And Samana, $34. Nico, you're going to first look at the Australia Stakes. You've got Schwartz in the red up front. You've got Stapati last. And then you've got Southport Tycoon in the maroon.
Yeah, it was a
One-horse race.
one horse race.
It was
really
a joke. Absolute joke.
Stapati was good late. He probably had a better run than Southport Tycoon. Southport Tycoon didn't have his blinkers on. They're the only horses here that have sort of had the recent racing. Samana ran at the Gold Coast, and then Super Smink's coming off a Perth campaign where she raced deep into the summer. But Another Will's fresh, Mr. Brightside's fresh, Private Life's fresh. You'd think Schwartz probably does similar here, where Shin just sends him to the lead. I think you get an uncontested lead. I thought Samana will go forward from the draw. Private Life, Another Will get nice runs. I think Stapati gets a nice run. I thought Mr. Brightside, I thought the map's pretty average for him. I'd be surprised if he can end up in the first 4 from the draw. Like, I just can't see a scenario where they're going to let him in. Another Will, Private Life. Like, they're just going to have to. He's a bit of a marked man out there, Willow. So I'm sort of thinking he has to go back from the barrier, whether that's midfield or worse. Not too sure, but I'd be expecting him to do sort of that midfield position, and then it's really a matter of price. Like, are you happy to take $2.40 first up from that barrier in a race where, you know, there's a few horses out in front, like Another Will, that will have every sort of favour here, and he's got to come and chase him. I thought he was quite short at $2.40, $2.50, and I think Another Will probably holds all the aces here. He should just get a lovely run in behind the speed. The jump out was sensational.
The luck against Duke DeSessa too.
Yeah.
Like, pretty.
And it was over 1,200. So that makes me think that he's here ready to go first up. Schwartz can't have a better run than what he had last start, and his rating just wasn't good enough to be competitive here. I think he's more like a $21 chance and a $6 chance. I was happy to pen him. Private Life should get a nice run just behind him. Is his form really that strong? We're probably going to find out on Saturday. But yeah, I sort of thought Another Will, he holds the aces, and the horse that just has to improve is Southport Tycoon. I know he's disappointing given the SP, but like, dead set, what are you doing, punter? Stop steaming into $2.30 first up, a horse with the blinkers off. Like, the horse has just exploded since the blinkers went on, and then they took them off. There was no intent there. Blinkers go back on here. Zara sticks. I think he's the horse with the genuine X factor in the race. If he runs to his sort of level, which he did in a Manikato or an Australian Guineas, he is right in the finish here. He sort of appealed to me just because you're getting a big price relative to his talent. But I think it's Kieran's race. I think him, Another Will, and even Samana is probably a good place chance. So I'll probably have something on Another Will and Southport Tycoon be my best result in the race. I love Mr. Brightside, but I just don't know if the map sets up that well for him. He's clearly the best horse. The trial was sensational. It's just the way the day could pan out with the wins and how this map may set up. He's going to have to be going near to his best first up, which he usually doesn't do to be winning, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, Mr. B's obviously been one of mine for a long time, but he, like I said, first up from the tricky draw. He only just fell in last year, didn't he? Got them right on the line. Then he got beat first up in the spring by Pinstripe, didn't he? Got bombed late, so wouldn't want to be going wrong from gate 8, especially with, as I said, Nico's covered most of it, really.
He's the right man for the job, though, Willow. He's had a sensational summer.
Yeah, but you can't think of a lot of intent first up. Like, you saw a horse like yesterday, like, climb the ladder. Like, okay, so it's second up, it's got the run under the belt, so they're happy to bang it forward because it's got the fitness benefit. You know, but first up, they ride them more cautiously. So, yeah, I'll be happy to watch this race. I thought Stapati's flying. You know, he was in the wilderness, wasn't he? Or just not going. I thought he was a terrific run in that race the other day. And Southport Tycoon has to improve in the blinkers, but Another Will's going to sit right behind Schwartz and get every possible. So I'd probably,
I think it's the day Another Will we find out how good he is. Like, is he going to be a weight for age horse? We're going to find out on Saturday, because if he comes out and wins, he probably does take that path. And if he's just a handicapper, well, you know, a few of the other horses might get over the top of him late, but he couldn't get a much better setup than what he finds here.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Another Will should be favourite in this market, and the stable that just keeps pouring cold water on Mr. Brightside gives me a little bit of blood flow here. So I think Another Will's nearly an auto bet job for Jamie Mellum, and I thought Private Life was just the other obvious one, and that's the horse I've had to back early because it just looks like the wrong price around the $9.50, $10 mark. You got 1.2 lengths of Sunshine in Paris. That was off a horror setup and just went like an absolute bomb that day. Like what a run that was. Like I was lucky my black book kicked in because I've had a little bit of a freshen up, but my notes just said back this horse first up when it's probably improved and a bit of maturity under the belt. But yeah, I had a look at its trial, but I just have to auto bet this horse. Just seems
I
like
heard
crazy
Waller speak about that, and he did that back in distance off the Guinea or whatever it was because he says such a good horse. He got a huge rep on it. Private Life. It's a very, very good colt.
Yeah. So anyway, try and tick off 1,400 as a colt. I'm happy to take sort of around the $9.50 mark and find out with. Yeah, but I'm worried that he just mightn't be seasoned enough to beat a horse like Another Will, who's just the machine, and then Mr. Brightside will probably blow out his last 50 because I think the good thing about the Hayes stable is they seem super honest with their appraisals, and whoever's doing the form there is doing a good job because they're going to spread this horse's campaign out. And they're going to go long and deep, and they might even go to Hong Kong later. So this horse is just not wound up. So it's a great betting opportunity because everyone sees Mr. Brightside and goes, 220, I think he's odds on. And I'm happy to scratch around and bet around against him because the stable says he's not ready. So I believe the stable.
I concur with you that their form, whoever does their form at Hayes must be just about close to best in the business. But you definitely wouldn't be looking wide of whoever's doing it currently. But I'd have Another Will. Mr. Brightside, Bryce, and another, they've got to swap them.
Yeah.
And then it's just if you want to save, those are the three horses. They're drawn low. The map's the key. It's just, it looks diabolical. Unless he jams Mr. Brightside outside Schwartz somehow and lobs outside it. And even then, they're going to stalk him. So, he's going to have to be his absolute best. And then it's just whether you want to be with Southport Tycoons to Party and Private Life that are all going to get the suck runs as well. So, I think happy to be away from Schwartz and Mr. Brightside, the same as the boys. We sort of all pretty much land in the same spot. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't start favourite. I'd actually be concerned if it doesn't start favourite. Another Will, because it doesn't make sense, the price currently.
Nico, I think the Southport Tycoons are total forgive. I think Blinkers on nailed it. And gosh, he just didn't look comfortable to try and take any of those gaps. And God, I reckon he's the biggest forgive job ever, and he's the best run clearly out of the Australia Stakes. So I'm in your corner there, and I hope the market just bins him like they did on, was it Manikato night?
Well, they kind of already have.
$20 against Growing 21. Empire. Yeah, so that's beautiful. So you still got Mark Zara Blinkers, so I'll be keeping him as winner as well. So feels like we go against Mr. Brightside a lot on this show, but the last sort of 10 starts, I think he's only won sort of 3 times, and he just keeps going up short odds. So we might be starting to get on top of him, but we did go with him for a while when DK found him out of the bloody Maidens and all those, the Geelong and all those sort of races. So he seems like a really easy horse to read, and I think
he's a nightmare to take on because he can sit 3 wide and keep coming. He's a machine, but
so
he's
genuine.
Yeah,
so
these sort of sit sprint horses, he's going to have to put up some sort of crazy last 600 off a tough run, you would think. And even if he doesn't get it, I think he's priced to get the best run in the race.
3 till 4 on Friday, Tristan's got about 110%. So this is a race where you can just absolutely steam into responsibly and really enjoy it, because this is what the battle's about and what a puzzle the CF4 is. So can't wait, 3 till 4 Friday at TopSport. Nico, tell us about your yard. You've been on holidays, still got the surf T-shirt on there. What about your yard? Is that back into gear this Saturday, or what's going on?
Yeah, we're kicking off Saturday. Probably a little bit of caution around the meeting. I think it's a tough day. So, but we'll be back in full swing. We'll send a few bets out for Hobart as well. So hopefully we can get a result or two over the weekend. But back on Saturday. Probably keenest to see the CF4. And I think the preludes are interesting races. I thought we didn't really touch on them, but I thought Lofty Thoughts was probably the worst parade I've ever seen from a horse at the races in that Geelong race. And he still started favourite, which shocked me. But he still ran very well. There's obviously a lot of talent there. And I saw some vision of him during the week at Caulfield where he looked like a complete different horse. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he improves a lot in that prelude. Field of Play looks like a 1,400 metre horse to my eye, just from a type point of view. He sort of bullied his rivals there at Moonee Valley and Aleppo Pine. Couldn't have trialled much better, but he sort of it was a bit sort of squibby vibes, wasn't it, DK? Did you see the way he sort of scooted around there on the Heath track? They sort of maybe 1100 is sort of his go, but interesting races, those preludes. So keen to get out there Saturday. Keen to get out there Blue Diamond Day when they move the yard back to the front. That'll be that Christmas day for me, because the new mounting yard makes it very hard to watch the horses. So we're counting down the days till they move it back to where it was.
Kanga will fix it. So head to Twitter and head to Nick at Nico's Yard and slide into his DMs if you're having any problems there, and Nico will sort you out with a link. So get his action for all his late mail this autumn, and you won't be disappointed. I'm going to do the lucky last at Brizzy this week. Went to the races a few times over the summer break and thought, you know what, we just need to do either like the start of the race to get the punters a bank builder, and there's a lot of people that are on the Chevy. So I thought, the last race of the day, it's either Adelaide, which is a 1,000-metre dash up with one of your old horses, Yusuki, is going around, but it's drawn barrier 17. So I thought the easier of the two options might be Doomben race number 10, which is the lucky last. So we'll try and do the lucky last each week and find you guys a horse to sort of get out or a race to tackle late in the day. 1,200-metre race this is. This is the TopSport benchmark 85 handicap. Hurt So Good's a favourite here, 350. Lost It in Transit is 460. Amore Veloce 550. Show Some Decorum $8. Pizarro $10. Master Showman $10. Bow Rumble $10. Avidius $14 and $21, or better the rest. Horse I like here, I think it's going to be a carbon copy, but the horse drops back from 1,400 to 1,200, and it's Lost in Transit. Cody Collis has got the ride here, and Damien Brown's now coaching this guy, Cody Collis. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just continues to improve as an apprentice, Cody. He's got the 2 kilo claim here, so Lost in Transit goes back to 57 kilos. And then you got Bailey Wheeler on Electrica there, just running past it, and there's the last sort of 100 metres, he's just sort of out of gas there. But I thought 1,200 metres in this race and under these conditions, I think it's going to be super hard to beat Lost in Transit with the favourite Hurt So Good. He's going to be buried in the ruck and well out the back. The horse that I think is the Blouser here, it's in the Freedman colours with the white blaze. I think Miss Aria gets along the fence here for B Shin. She's in a stakes race on Saturday over 1,100. I think maybe the last at Caulfield. She zooms, but I thought Show Some Decorum. He still just proved that he's got the zest of racing there and hit the line really, really nicely there at Moonee Valley. So since then, he's gone to the Toby Edmonds yard, won a trial, and then more recently at the Gold Coast, they sort of bore it up him a little bit and probably had to in along the fence and did enough. Like Sistine Explorer was in the trial that day, but settled way out the back and pushed it right out. So at $8, I think that's probably the saver bet. And I think Lost in Transit will give you a big, big sight because Amore Veloce looks like the leader here. It'll have to gas early. Uncle Robbie Heathcote and Vlad will be setting the pace. It can just take the sit, and 1,400 back to 1,200. This horse is just out and out 1,200 metre horse. This Lost in Transit, 57 kilos. Beautiful. 2-bit strategy, and hopefully that gets you out. But there you go. So that's the first edition of the Lucky Last. Show Some Decorum. Nico, this is a funny horse. When I did the replays this horse, its silks changed colours, so they must have had some sort of ownership dramas here. It was in the blue and gold, and then it was in the Freedom colours, and now it's up to the Edmonds camp up at the Goldie.
Yeah, he was in it. He was in an online sale. I think they just sort of sold him because he reached his mark here in Victoria. I think that was a 78 or an 84 that day at Moonee Valley, and he's sort of a higher rating where it'd take him a fair while down here to get back to sort of a level he can probably win at. So they probably just moved him on. But there was definitely, I agree, there's probably some zest left in him. We had a little bit of a look at him, but we thought that was probably the main reason that we didn't sort of have a crack at him because of his rating. So I think he's probably well placed going up to Queensland.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, and they'll be keen to probably get a win up there on the board early. Puntingform.com.au is how I do my form. It's been a life changer for me, and it could be a game changer for you. Without doubt, the best database to improve your betting with your sectional times and benchmarks all there. And they've just got this AI sort of form filters where you can speed the process up even faster. So all the boys use it here, and they think it's the Mickey Mouse. TopSport Big Bets Times, or the early bets, I should say. Caulfield race 6, number 10 is the first one, and that's Miss Aria. Looks like a partial job here. It's race 6, sorry. I thought it was race number 10 earlier, but it's 110 at $19 in the Rubiton Stakes. Nico, like it? Or
She jumped
hate
out
it?
okay, but I think she'll need a bit further than 1100. Looks a pretty sharp sort of race with a bit of speed there.
Insurrection and Mahaba head up that market, so I'd be thinking those two fight it out. Race 3, number 7 is Touristic, 200 at $12, and that was the horse that's been 12 into $6. We've spoken about that race. This is my bet. Caulfield race 9, number 10, Private Life, 350 at $9.50. I was pretty keen to take it and might bet again when they go to 110%. Randwick race 3, number 13 is Kerber, 100 at $31. John Walter.
Yeah, have to give a pass on that, but I'm not knocking it at 30s in that race. There's a bit to happen there, be scratchings and whatever, but I'll just let that one through the keeper.
Okay, 1,000-metre race. So a couple.
A lot of first starters. There will be scratching. I think even and there's a couple that might come out completely change everything.
All right, there we go. All right, first show back, so it's light riding a bike. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that. Heaps of quality racing, and I think we've found the right time to come back, and haven't come back a week too soon, just at the right time with the Blue Diamond Preludes, and then the Inglis Millennium up there at Randwick. But good to be back, boys. Any final thoughts down in Melbourne?
No, busy weekend. Another meeting on Monday, haven't we, Nico? The Super Bowl meeting.
Yeah, Super Bowl Monday.
On. Caulfield are going on again. Caulfield have got to put a race meeting on to get all the crowd there for the Super Bowl.
The Jumbotron, Trav was telling me, they were setting it up down there. So, probably a good day out if you can get there and got the day off to watch the Super Bowl. It seems like they're going to put on a good day.
Kanga's throwing out the first pass, they tell me.
But, someone's going to dunk Kanga with the Gatorade. What colour Gatorade are you going to dunk Kanga with?
Oh, my God.
At least it'd be good value. At least I've just wound back the prices of all the stuff there, and it should be good times there. A lot of people have a shit sickie these days, don't they?
Wouldn't surprise me if Kanga just produced like Christina Aguilera or something on track. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
It's a great man. Wouldn't put it past him. All right, good punting on the weekend. And just remember, it's the start of the Autumn Carnival. So if you're just getting back into it, go quietly. Get your black book ready because there's going to be some big runs eventuate. And if you don't find a winner this week, make sure you get your black book humming and follow them all through the Autumn Carnival. But TopSport, 110% markets, Friday, 3 till 4. We'll see you there.